I was going to start singing, but I don't know if I should.
What?
I don't know what this is from. Can you tell me what this is from when I start singing it? It's
Maybe.
been stuck in my head. I don't know where it's from. Will you still love me when I... What is that from? I have 3 guesses. 50 Shades?
No.
Twilight?
No.
Divergent?
No.
What's it from?
I do believe it is from The Great Gatsby.
Oh, shit.
More
Thank
famously
you.
known.
Thank you.
More famously known in Benedict and Sophie edit, Bridgerton edit that I made. More famously known.
And so that's why I know it.
No, you know it because when we were driving back from wherever we were recently, I was playing you Lana Del Rey songs because you were like, I don't know a single Lana Del Rey song. I was like, yes, you do. And so I played you that one.
That's
and then
funny.
I played you A Little Party Never Killed Nobody. I don't think that's Lana Del Rey, but we were on the theme of Great Gatsby.
Which we famously had a dance to in high school in our dance class.
Yeah.
It was fun.
We are an unusual couple, you know.
What are we doing today?
Well, a couple of Marvel things happened.
No.
Your hand is hot.
What are we doing today?
Oh, today we are going to go see The Ballad of Shambles and Snakes. I'm very excited.
Are you thrown off by the fact that we're filming during the day?
No, we...
Usually we've been filming when it's like evening to night.
Well, for the past 2 weeks, yes, but before that, we'd been in the habit of doing it during the day.
Fair.
And then you decided to start coming over later.
Yeah. Well, look, we're going to see a Hunger Games film tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I owe you $10.
You do. Yeah, girl. Chris did not... I don't even think he cracked the book open.
I didn't.
The spine on the book I bought him isn't even broke. Not one bend in that book.
I think I sniffed the pages. I went like this. Like I opened the book and went... And like I wafted the scent of the pages because that's my favorite thing about books. Anything else, it's a chore to me to read, and that's like, and that is because of the educational system. I don't think that we need to stray away from that. It's because, especially in college, they were like, "You're gonna read 40 to 50 pages from this."
I didn't
it
have
made
to
me
read
want
in
to rip my skin off.
Outside of freshman year, I didn't have to read in
Well,
college.
we had different paths.
We had different majors.
Yeah. It was like that academic scholar bullshit that people just write to feel better about themselves, and I don't want to talk about reading. I will walk off if we keep talking about reading. I hate it.
I wish...
I want to like it though.
I know. I wish you did.
But I enjoy reading factual things. Like I enjoy learning. Like
You're
I enjoy
a non-fiction reader.
I loved reading the Ralph Macchio book. I want to read the McConaughey
That's
book.
nonfiction. Nonfiction.
I'm aware of the difference. Thank you.
Okay.
It
just makes me sad for you. Like, it's fun.
I don't aspire to do it because if these are my options, right? I finish everything I'm supposed to do today. This is just a random example day. It's 5:00, and I've had a very successful day. So I want to wind down. I want to relax. Am I watching a movie on my movie watch list, a TV show, a sporting event, or am I going to read? That's just always going to be at the bottom. And you could be completely correct. I could be missing out. It's just I don't really have the drive to read anymore right now in my life.
He says right now, like you ever read it. I've seen you read one book.
For leisure, one book
yeah.
in the past. Probably one book in the past 7 years, yeah, for leisure.
That's crazy.
That book.
That's crazy.
For leisure, correct.
And you only read it because Ralph Macchio told you to read it.
Yep. And it was good. I read it quickly.
Weird.
It was entertaining.
Well, I've read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and I'm very excited to finally see the movie. Been anticipating it for a long time. It's been one of my most anticipated movies of 2023. One of. I'd say top 5.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm excited. I'm like itching.
I'm looking forward to watching the movie, but I'm also not looking forward to a potential world where I don't like the movie as much as you, and then I just get told, well, this is why you should like it. And then it's like, oh, I'm going in with the viewpoint of someone just watching a movie. I didn't study up before watching it. I'm just going to watch a movie in the Hunger Games world.
First of all,
Does that make sense?
No one studies up for a movie.
I didn't read the source material, so
that's fine.
But I don't like this whole thing where it's like, you shouldn't be allowed to review or watch a movie if you didn't read the source material. It's like, okay, so if you didn't read a biography
when I say that,
on
you don't
J.
count.
Robert Oppenheimer, you can't watch Oppenheimer. It's just stupid shit.
When I say stuff like that, you don't count. I'm not talking about people like you, but like we had this conversation last night.
Who's we?
You and I.
When?
2 nights ago, 3 nights ago, whatever.
Your perception of time scares me. Continue, please. It's alarming.
No, it's not. We had it. Okay, what? 2 nights ago? Why does it matter?
Just go.
Why does it matter?
Continue, please.
When it comes to watching a movie
Yes.
based on a book or a TV show based on a book, I think there are one of two things required before going into it. You either need to have read the source material or you need to have media literacy. Lots of people don't have either. Those are the people that I think shouldn't be reviewing things because they don't get it. They don't understand what they're reviewing. There's other things that they can review that don't have source material. That's fine, whatever. But if you haven't read the book or you don't have good media literacy and you're just spewing words that are wrong, sorry, wrong, you don't need to talk about it.
Okay.
But you have media literacy, so you'll be fine.
Well, thank you.
I
See
think
how I
it'll
feel
be-
about it, because I'll be honest, I'm going to give my opinion based as a movie fan, not a fan of the novel.
It'll be interesting to see
So it'll be interesting.
how well it adapts the book to the movie, and it'll be interesting to see the difference in opinion of someone who has read the book and someone who hasn't read the book.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if it's a really good book to movie adaptation, then both parties should enjoy it. You know what I mean? But like if it's a bad adaptation, then like you might enjoy it as a movie watcher. I might not enjoy it as somebody who knows what it was supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Percy Jackson movie.
Yeah, if it's just a well-made movie, I'll like it. I mean,
Yeah.
that
And I think it will
goes
be.
without saying.
It looks very well made.
Yeah, so we're seeing that tonight. We'll have some talk about that next week. But more importantly, in the world of media lately, we've been inundated with...
Definition, please.
Inundated?
What the hell is that?
It means like it's been very... in a large amount has been thrown at us. We've been swimming around in Marvel content.
I've never heard that word before in my life.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
I've never heard
You've
that.
never heard that word.
Inundated?
Inundated.
Spell it.
I'll Google it.
Nope, spell it. Where's spelling bee? Spell it right now.
In my opinion, I'm just going to take a shot in the dark here. INUNDATED. Inundated.
Never in my
Now
life.
I'm looking it up because now you're pissing me off for real.
I'm not saying that you're making up words. It's no secret between our relationship that you have a higher vocabulary than I do.
Overwhelm someone with things or people to be dealt with. I spelled it correctly. Thank you.
I'm not saying you didn't,
Okay.
and I wasn't saying you were saying fake words.
Cool.
I just have never heard that word before in my life.
Fair. You have probably, but
I
it's
swear
fine.
to God, I haven't.
We're
Swear to God.
seeing, or we're not seeing. The Marvels came out. Loki season 2 came out. The Marvel world is in. What is it in? What's in a state of
Well,
chaos right
depends
now?
on who you ask. It could be in a world of peril.
A world of clickbait. I don't know what it is.
In a world of
What's the word to look for? I mean, is it actually in shambles? Is it
I think
on the
it's-
right path? Is it course correcting? Are we in a rebuild year? What is going on
I think
with these two projects? This and Loki. You could ask anybody and get a
I should
different
have
answer.
put Loki Funko Pops behind me.
That's fine.
I think it's fine. I think it's thriving. And I think it's having a good time.
Thriving.
Yeah. Why do you question
Well,
that word?
I don't know if I could use that word because I don't know if it's thriving right now because of the current divisiveness.
Here's the thing. If you just look at Marvel to DC ever, in comparison, Marvel's just thriving. Like, if you look at Marvel compared to other times in Marvel, not thriving as much. But if you take a step out of the Marvel bubble and look at it compared to other things,
Mm-hmm.
it's still doing just fine.
It's just hard. I'm literally just addressing this.
Speak.
I'm addressing this on behalf of the reception of recent projects and the direction the franchise is headed. I enjoyed the film behind us. We're going to talk about that in a second. Quite a bit, actually. I really loved Loki Season 2. But the fact that there have been these meetings and murmurs behind the scenes with Feige and co. talking about the direction they're headed, is Kang going to be the main villain? Are they going to sort of head in a new direction with Doctor Doom? There are conversations at large being had about the direction of the cinematic universe, and it is concerning. I don't know if I can say they're thriving. This film has not technically flopped yet because we still have a few more weeks of its box office run, but it could be on pace to flop.
If it flops, I literally don't care. You know what I'm fed up with? I'm fed up with Variety. First of all, that first article they released, the whole Marvels and Shambles thing, more than half of it, like, it was debunked. Like, more than half of it was just, like, not correct. They're being weird about how they're
It's clickbaity.
sharing the news for the Marvels.
They're getting clicks.
They're being weird about it. Like, they're just being odd.
Yeah.
And they're refusing, if they're talking about box office numbers or whatever, they refuse to talk about the fact that this is the only Marvel movie to drop during a strike, longest actor strike in history, that prevented the movie from being promoted. And it's true. And you don't know how much promotion adds to the income of a movie. So the fact that it's not making a lot of money right now, it's unfair. Right? Already was unfair going into it regardless of the strike. Because there's lots of people that unfortunately want this movie to fail.
Correct. I have some thoughts.
Can I finish my sentence?
I'm just letting you know I have thoughts on what you're saying. I'm ready to speak.
Outside of the strike, going into it, there was a lot of people that wanted the Marvels to fail. A lot of people already had their minds made up about the movie before they ever even saw it, because it's got women in it. It's got women of color in it. It was directed by a woman of color. So a lot of people already had their minds made up, which is really unfortunate and really sad. That plus the strike added on to it. Yeah, it's underperforming in the box office. But Variety refuses to mention that in their headlines.
I think this movie was destined to fail from its inception because of just it's sort of this domino effect where if you look at recent MCU projects, a lot of them have underperformed. I mean, obviously there's outliers. We have to look at this in big picture. Like Thor: Love and Thunder almost made $1 billion.
What?
Yeah. Multiverse of Madness, $5 million shy of making $1 billion. Love and Thunder, I think it made around 760.
That's another thing.
Let me look this up, but I wanna keep going and then I'll pull up
That's
the stats.
another thing working against the Marvels is the fact that it's had like 2 or 3 Marvel stinkers in front of it. So people are already like, I'm good with Marvel. I'll just watch it when it comes on Disney Plus, whatever. I don't care for it. That's not the Marvel's fault.
So Love and Thunder made 760 worldwide, which was the 8th highest grossing of 2022. By Love and Thunder standards, I'm sure it thought it was going to make more. That's still a success. Wakanda Forever made around 860. I think Guardians 2 made around 845. Guardians 3, thank you. And then Multiverse of Madness made like 995. So if you compare the Marvels, this is the thing that alarms me though. And it's unfortunate. What I'm trying to say is it's unfortunate the Marvels is the movie that came out at the time it did. Because I think if you plug in any other movie they have lined up, you're not going to like what I'm about to say. You plug in Blade, you plug in Thunderbolts, you plug in Captor Bolt is what I almost just said. Captain America 4, you plug in damn near the Fantastic Four. I'm serious.
Wow.
And you put it this time of year, it's going to underperform because of people being done with not just Marvel. This is the big part. Not just Marvel. Movies. The Flash and Blue Beetle both really underperformed, and Shazam. Those are superhero films. They're lumped in with Marvel. And so I think this movie was doomed to fail because of superhero fatigue as a whole. I think those 3 leads, I don't think appeal to the masses as much as I wish they did, because I really like their charisma on screen. And I just think people are kind of fed up with Marvel. And then you do throw in the this isn't the main reason, but the big factors that people are like, screw that movie. It's got 3 women leads. There are people like that.
And then the strike on top of all that.
And then the strike on top of all that. So the movie, it was a perfect storm in a bad way for this movie to fail. And it just sucks that it came out when it did. But it's like, I mean, shit. I don't know what else to say.
What we can say is that we enjoyed the movie. And if you haven't seen it yet, you should definitely go and see it. It's good. It's funny. It's a fun time.
I think we're going to do a little spoiler talk here. So if you haven't seen it, there's going to be a timestamp right here. You can check and you can go to the next part. But we're going to talk spoilers for this movie because I haven't done that yet. And we're not going to recap the whole damn thing. I really just want to talk about one thing in particular. The post-credit scene.
Right.
Well, first of all, I think it's nuts that it's like it leaked so early and that so many people were like, watch this and don't go watch the movie. People were like literally posting it and being like, watch this to save your time. I'm serious. I saw multiple accounts do that.
I hate people.
And I will say this. It's interesting to me. You know what? I'm going to make this statement right now. And then, first of all, here's the post-credit scene. Beast pulls up. because at the end of the film, Monica ends up in another universe, essentially. And it's the
Yes.
X-Men movie universe, but is it our Fox X-Men universe, or is it just a branch of that? We're not sure if it's the exact one or not.
It has the same actor,
It has
though.
the same actor, Kelsey Grammer, playing Beast from Last Stand. He made a cameo in Days of Future Past as well at the end. But look, I liked it. It's setting up the fact that the X-Men can exist in the MCU, just in a different universe. Kind of like what they did with Ahsoka, where Thrawn and Ezra were just in like a different galaxy, but still in the Star Wars universe. That's a concept I can get on board with, so that when they bring the X-Men in, they are just in a different universe within the MCU still.
Yeah.
Now, I want to say this. If this post-credit scene was taken and you plugged in Monica for Scott and you put that at the end of Quantumania, people are flipping their shit.
Yeah.
That's something I'm serious. I firmly believe that. People will be like, I've seen so many people say, this is forced, it's desperate, it's cornball.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they gave us the X-Men and it made sense. And I'm not the kind of guy to get on here and be like, oh, it's just because of this. But I've seen enough opinions from certain people online, creators specifically, to know there's in whether they want to admit it or not, there's a bit of a bias against certain things.
Spill.
And it is, in this case, I firmly believe that if this scene was plugged into Quantumania, if it was plugged into Guardians 3 for some reason, and you put Peter Quill at the end and he ends up there, like, people are going to like it more.
Calling the post-credit scene desperate is actually so crazy, because what do you mean you have a movie starring 3 of your most cosmic characters that involve all sorts of that kind of, universal cosmic power type thing?
Universe trotting. If
What
you
do
will.
you what do you mean it's desperate to introduce the X-Men in
Well-
their movie? What do you mean? Like it actually, fun fact, makes the most sense to introduce the X-Men in their movie. Sorry, I know that
If
upsets
not
you.
that, then Strange. But the post credit scene of Strange.
If
was
that
just a total
post-credit
wash.
scene was at the end of Multiverse of Madness, I would have shot myself in the head in the theater, Abraham Lincoln style.
Why?
Because that doesn't need to be at the end of Doctor Strange.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, I don't care. I really don't give a shit actually about it. But what movie it's a part of. The post credit scene in Miss Marvel, it does its job. It's supposed to set up
In
the
the
X-Men.
Marvels.
In what did I say?
Miss Marvel.
Oh, thank you. You know what I meant.
Sorry. I threw you off with my Abraham Lincoln comment.
You did, and it's okay.
Keep
I was just confused by it. So yeah, the Marvel's post-credit scene, X-Men. I think that if that's in any other movie, people are fine with it. And I think, as a whole, the movie far from perfect, but far from the worst MCU movie.
Most Marvel movies are not perfect. We have a rare few that are,
Mm-hmm.
and then
There's
the rest.
I also trying to think. My biggest issues with the Marvels were how jarring it was at the start. Like, it kind of just felt like the movie began. There wasn't like an opening scene. It just kind of began. Like the main villain, whose name I couldn't tell you for money, Debar or something. She was there, and then it just
Think
like some events unfolded.
Darban.
And then our team was together, and then
Well, I
that's where
think-
the movie found its footing. But it was undeniably just like,
I agree. It was
for like
definitely
the first 15 minutes.
it was jarring and fast in the first 15 minutes, but I think that was like a directorial choice, because if you were somewhere and all of a sudden randomly just switched places
Yeah.
with someone else somewhere else in the universe, you'd be like,
Yeah,
whoa,
well,
what the fuck just happened?
my thing is, it's just interesting to me because structurally the movie has like 3 main leads, and so I don't know, it was weird how we're bouncing between all 3 of them so quickly, whereas with something like, say, Guardians 2, it is also bouncing around quickly, but the teams all together. It's the fact that this team hadn't formed, and so we had to find that chemistry and see it mesh over the course of the movie. Getting there was a little rough, but it ended up flowing smoothly to me after they were a team on the ship together.
Interesting. It didn't feel all that rough to me.
The
but I see
villain
where you're
was
coming from.
completely throwaway to me. But
Yeah.
that's not what the movie's about. But
Most
still,
villains are like,
I mean,
it's
I'll go through every superhero movie this year. Blue Beetle, throwaway villain.
yeah.
This movie, throwaway villain.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, Quantumania, not a throwaway villain at all.
Well, it depends on where Marvel goes.
It depends on also your perspective. Apparently, some people think Kang is. High Evolutionary is a very good villain, and then
Yeah.
Shazam, I'd say pretty throwaway villains.
I don't even know. Oh, Rachel Zegler was.
She wasn't. She ended up being a
She
hero.
was a good gal.
But no. Yeah. So look, I don't know. The movie is flawed, but I don't think it's like egregious. Like, I don't think the movie is so bad that it's like I can't watch this. I think the critiques of it, I think they were blown out of proportion. I think the movie is far more watchable and enjoyable than people are making it out to be.
100%.
I think it's better than Quantumania, which I actually enjoyed both. And some people will tell you in my comment section that I shouldn't be allowed to live because of that, pretty much.
Because you enjoyed Quantumania?
I enjoyed the movies, but I'm aware of their flaws. But
oh, wow. You said something in your
Anyway.
non-spoiler review that I really liked, and I'm going to reiterate
Please do.
now. People will watch the Marvels and then compare it to Infinity War. They'll compare it to Guardians 3, when really, I think all that we should compare it to, and moving on with other movies, what you should only compare those movies to is the movie that it's a sequel to. So look at the Marvels and compare it to Captain Marvel. You don't need to compare it to something like Infinity War that encompasses a whole saga. You don't need to compare it to something like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is kind of an outstanding trilogy in Marvel, if you will. It's kind of unfair to compare any movie to like a Guardians movie, right? It's an outstanding thing. Compare the Marvels to Captain Marvel. It improved. It took what was good about Captain Marvel and it improved on those things, and it added things into the Marvels. Kamala, Maria, right? That's her name.
Monica?
Monica. It's her
Yep.
mom. My bad.
You're-
I knew it sounded wrong. Monica added that and enhanced the movie. It was better than Captain Marvel. And that's an improvement. That's a good thing.
It was. And, it's hard, too, when you just constantly see negativity about things online to maintain your original level of enjoyment. Like, I still enjoy the movie quite a bit. I give it like a 3.5 out of 5. But then you go and see all this shit online, and it's just like...
Damn.
It's wild to me, actually.
Yeah.
It is wild to me. I'm not offended by it because people can have their own opinions, but it is just insane to me that people hate the movie so much. But again, I don't know. The thing is, the movie knew what it was from the start, and it was silly, but it wasn't trying to be anything other than that to me. Like it was a silly movie. I also think that it's not what I'm trying to say. I enjoyed the movie, but I don't know if was necessarily the target audience, and I think it's hard for some people to grasp that they may not be the target audience for every MCU project.
Oh, for sure.
Like, imagine a 13-year-old girl watching this movie.
That's what this movie's for. Like, exactly.
Yeah,
You're
and
correct.
I just think it's hard for some people to put in their reviews or their critiques is to change their perspective and just approach it from with that lens. And it took me a while to really realize that. Yeah. It took me a while to realize that because when Captain Marvel came out, I was like, but now it's like I do understand that's like I still enjoy the movie for what it was.
Yeah.
If I had a 10-year-old daughter and took her to see the movie, she'd probably love it. Does that mean it's the best movie ever? No. It's a flawed movie, right?
Yeah.
But it's not dog shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a very mature way to look at it. And Brie Larson has said that before multiple times.
It took me a while to get to this place, by the way. I used to be like, fuck this movie. Not like that, no. But it's, I don't know. That's how I feel. No one told me to say that. Cam didn't be like, you got to be a little bit.
No, I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
That's just how I feel. And I think some people don't realize how harmful it is to go online and spew hatred. Like, you can spew valid critiques. I'm not condemning anyone who reviewed the movie poorly.
Valid
I'm saying
critiques,
people,
constructive
there
criticism
are
are
people
good
out
things.
there, you can go to Rotten Tomatoes, who are like, this movie was made by teenage girls, not comic readers. And it's like, those people should not be qualified to review movies.
Iman Vellani is a teenage
So,
girl and a comic reader.
It's just frustrating to me, and I don't want this movie to fail, because don't you want more stories like this in the MCU where it's like not everything's the same thing?
Yeah.
It's just different. I had fun with it. Is it perfect? Hell no.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've gone on long enough. Sorry.
Well, that's a very mature standpoint to come from. Very proud of you for saying that. Brie Larson has said that before. She got so much hate for literally saying, like, the average.
She said it more. She said
Yeah.
She said something about like 40-year-old straight white dudes, and
Because that's
everyone
the
got
average.
offended by
That's
it.
the
But no,
average
yeah, yeah.
reviewer. If
And-
you scroll through Rotten Tomatoes reviews, like the odds of you coming across a
Correct.
older white male critic, you're gonna come across more of those, and you're
Yeah.
gonna come across a 20-year-old something woman of color. Like, it's just the percentages, and not that that's a bad thing. It's just that when you make a movie about women for women, if you make a movie about people of color for people of color, a white man reviewing that movie the movie's not for him. And that's not like a fuck white men thing. That's just a, hey, you know, this particular movie isn't
It's not that it's
targeted at
not
your
for,
demographic.
it's just not targeted.
Yeah.
Like the main target is
Yeah.
not that, but it's still made for everybody to enjoy.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
She got a lot of hate for saying that. What was I going to say? And also, what you said about like people just going and saying like harmful things willy-nilly on the internet, especially when it comes to creators. I think a lot of creators don't understand that there's a lot of younger kids viewing what they say and how they say it.
I know who you're talking about right now.
I'm talking about a lot of people.
No,
I'm talking
no,
about
no,
a broad sense of people.
No, yeah, there's people who do like shticks that are intentionally like vulgar.
Oh, now I know what you're talking
There are
about.
people who do intentionally
You don't,
vulgar and just gross stuff, and it's like
whether it's a bit or whether you're being serious and you're just like,
I don't think people realize the influence they have
And you're-
over 12-year-olds specifically.
yeah, like you're like, do you know the age range that's on TikTok and Twitter
Yeah.
and YouTube? Like we've ran into people at the mall. They're like, oh, you're Chris from Filmstock. And it was like a 12-year-old boy.
Yeah,
That
if
kid watches your stuff.
Yeah.
A child. Children watch what you say. So you're going to go and you're going to say these either harmful things about women or downright disgusting things about women.
Yeah.
Or you're just going to say these harmful things about a movie that involves women. And you're saying these things to 10, 11, 12-year-old boys and girls, but specifically boys, if you're a male creator, saying these things. And these boys are going to be like, oh, yeah, fuck women. Hell yeah, brother. And they're 12. And that stuff's about to be ingrained in their head. Like, that's they're like Play-Doh at that age. Very malleable. Is that a word?
Yes.
Look at me. Look at me. Vocab.
Let's look it up though.
Like,
I know you're fine. I'm just playing.
they're so influential at that age. So if you're saying such harmful things or such degrading things or gross things, like whether it's a bit or not, I don't care. You're influencing young kids. And those are the kids that are going to grow. Like, it's just a bad circle. You should always be careful what you're saying because you're going to influence a kid. And it's just...
I think my thing with this whole thing is, I think people... It frustrates me the most when people who, like myself, went and watched this movie, and they critique films for what they do, and they go and they're like, they have issues with the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then... That's completely fine, but then it's when they get offended. It's interesting to me when they get offended when people are talking about how other people go online who love the movie and be like, "Oh, all men hate the movie" or whatever, and then they'll get offended. But it's like they're not talking about you. They're specifically talking about people who go in and are like that Rotten Tomato review I referenced, where the dude was like, "Teenage girl movie." Like that's I don't know. I have no clue what I'm saying anymore, but that's kind of
I
the
know what
gist
you
of
mean.
it, so
We didn't even really talk spoilers about the
No, it's
movie.
fine.
We've only spoiled the post-credit scene. Do you want to talk spoilers about the movie?
Sure.
What even is there to spoil in the movie?
That was really it. The end. We talked about the end, and we talked about
There's a
that.
really cool cat
and
scene.
the Flurkins.
The cat scene was my favorite scene probably. There's something I want to say. So when it comes to, you said this movie knew what it was going into it and didn't try to like change what it was. It knew that it was going to be a funny movie.
Yeah.
And it had its tone set and it stayed there. To me, it successfully achieved the same sort of tone and energy that I get out of that scene in Stranger Things season 3 where Dustin and Susie are singing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, we're in the middle of a battle right now.
Yeah.
But they're singing and it's split screen and it should be goofy and borderline cringy, but it's not because the tone is achieved perfectly. That's how I feel about the Marvels, specifically the scene where they're on the planet where people are singing and the cat scene. Perfect in my opinion. Like
the cat scene was funny.
the scenes weren't necessarily perfect. Like that's not what I mean. I'm saying like the tone of the scenes and how they were done felt perfect. Like the singing planet could have gone on for way too long and it could have given you a headache.
Yeah.
And it could have been just bad. And I was worried about it going into it, but it was fine. They were there just long enough. It contributed to them getting new suits, and I was fine with it. And then they left, and everything was good.
Yeah. I liked the cat scene quite a bit. My favorite comedic part of the film, without question, was let's do this right, Chris. Here we go. Ready? Don't say anything. Kamala's family. I did it right. There we go. It took me a while to learn how to correctly say her name for some reason because
There's lots of different
I watched
variations.
Kamala, though, her family,
So funny.
they were funny, and they were funny in the show. And
Yeah.
seeing them almost in awe of like being in space, and then Fury kind of babysitting them, that was funny to me. I liked the trio's chemistry, specifically how we saw Miss Marvel being a super fan of Carol, but then we also saw Monica and Carol having some awkward conversations because they hadn't seen each other in years.
I've seen people critique their whole conflict and be like, it was solved too quickly. It was like it was solved with a hug and that was it. And I was like, hey, fun fact, that's just sometimes how girls can fix things.
Or
They
just,
had it was awkward for a while. They finally had a conversation, an adult conversation between the two of them. They fixed it. They talked about
it's
their
not
problems.
like
and
they left on horrific terms. Carol was like, I have to go, I'll be back. And then she was like, I'll be back before you know it, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then she never came back. She had help with people, and they talked about it. It's not like they were gonna
And-
it's not like Carol killed someone and was like in her
Yeah.
family and was like, can you accept me?
Monica just felt a little betrayed by Carol not coming back, and once it was explained, solved. Like it's fine that it was solved with a hug, actually, because that's kind of all they needed.
And surprisingly, I'll say movies are generic. I actually don't think this movie's generic. I think that it's unlike a lot of things we've seen.
Yeah.
It's not just an origin story. It's not just I'm gonna compare it to Blue Beetle weirdly, but that movie, you knew everything that was gonna happen. And unfold. This is like it was wacky, but it embraced that, and I never really knew what was coming next. And then how could I fucking get the end of the movie? We get the best part with Kate Bishop.
Oh, right.
That was the best part of the movie, was Kamala assembling the young Avengers.
You know, she mentions in that scene about Ant-Man having a daughter. Didn't even hear
I
it.
need to watch the movie again to hear
I
that.
didn't even hear her say that because I was too busy going,
Oh shoot.
because it was Kate Bishop.
Yeah,
so I was freaking
I was
out.
also sort of distracted because I was
It's Haley Steinfeld's on screen.
yes.
Yeah, same.
I was awestruck.
One thing I want to say about this movie that I really enjoyed and honestly found very impressive was the fact that you've got three main characters from different facets, if you will. Captain Marvel from her own movies, Kamala Khan from Miss Marvel, and you've got Monica
WandaVision.
from Captain Marvel, but also from WandaVision. So they've all been in different projects. A lot of times, bringing together characters that have been in different projects can be a difficult thing when it comes to maintaining like their individual tones and how they're written. A character that comes to mind is Doctor Strange. When you jump from movie to movie with him, like if you look at him in Infinity War versus him in No Way Home versus him in Multiverse of Madness, he feels kind of like a different character here and there because, you know, you have different writers writing these characters per project. So it can be a little bit of a tricky thing to navigate, but they all felt like they were pulled just straight out of their projects, specifically Kamala. The drawing cartoons that happened at the very beginning of the movie, of like her and Carol together, like her tone, her family still being funny, like it really felt like they just took them right out of Miss Marvel, and it was perfect because they were the best part of Miss Marvel, and they were so good, and all the writing for all the characters felt great. Nick Fury was also super funny. I enjoyed him a lot. He was in the movie just the right amount, honestly. I'm glad he was there. Secret Invasion didn't happen. To me, didn't happen, didn't exist, whatever. So in the movie, I enjoyed Nick Fury. The whole thing where like they're in the plane with all the Flurkins and he turns like to the brother. He's like, "Are you praying?" And the brother stops and he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, don't stop." And he's like, "Amen." That's funny. Like Nick Fury was funny. It was just a fun time. And that's all I want from a Marvel movie, unless I'm watching something like Guardians 3 that is an ending to something. That's when I'm like, yes, make me cry over a sad, abused raccoon. Yes. But when it's something that's just another installment, the Marvels, yeah, I want to have fun. And that's what I had. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I also think that I want the movie to be good on top of that. But
Well, yeah, that's
I
what I
think
mean.
the movie was good enough.
I don't really have a fun time in a movie that's not good.
No, yeah, but I also don't go to a Marvel movie expecting it to be
Emotional?
in the same vein as Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon. It's different. It's different, and Martin Scorsese is actually right.
Yeah.
You know, everyone wants to shit on him, but he's actually right. Like, they are he calls them, I think, amusement park movies. I don't really know. You can look it up, but it is like Marvel movies are events in the way that you go and you have fun for a bit. You're not really, I don't know, caring as much as you would with other movies.
Yeah, you don't
like,
have to think as much
I don't
either.
care as much when I go to a Marvel movie.
Do you know how hard
about,
my
like,
brain
those
had to be
things.
on for Oppenheimer? I was tired after watching Oppenheimer. Like, my brain had to be on the whole time. I'm not saying I turned my brain off to watch a Marvel movie. What I'm saying is I don't have to...
Careful, we're getting in escape pod territory. I don't want this to get clipped now.
What?
No, I'm playing.
I just don't have to think as hard when I watch a Marvel movie,
Yeah.
which is fine. Like, that's not a big deal.
Yeah, so I enjoyed the movie overall, and I don't understand the extreme hatred it's getting, but that was expected ever since Captain Marvel came out.
Yep.
But then you do have something like She-Hulk, which is indefensibly dog shit to me.
Yeah.
Female-led, indefensibly dog shit, and I will die on that hill.
That's different.
That shows you, like,
Here's the thing.
that show stinks.
That show isn't bad because of a female being in it.
The writing's
There's
awful.
outstanding things in that show that we personally don't enjoy as much, right? I like what's the name of the character? Jennifer something?
I don't know a single individual who likes that show. Male or female.
The Escape Pod does.
Not really surprised by that news.
Andrew hasn't even finished Daredevil.
Anyway,
so. But anyways, regardless.
that's not the only thing we got recently from Marvel.
Yes.
Loki,
Speaking of TV shows.
Season 2
Yes.
is, without question, the best season of MC Disney Plus television.
Objectively, yeah.
I think it would be almost a clown take to say another season of TV is better.
Well, I wouldn't
I
say
would
it's
actually
better,
debate with
but
you.
if you ask me what
Could
my
you actually-
favorite is.
No, could you actually even contest what I'm saying? Like, do you think you could argue with me that The Falcon and Winter Soldier is a better season of television than Loki season 2? I don't think it's. I think
How
you'd
much
lose
prep
that.
time do I have?
Okay, Batman. I mean, it's incredible writing, and there's no other season. Loki season 1 and 2 as a whole, actually, that show does not feel burdened by the Disney Plus
Burdened
branding.
by,
Glorious
dare I say, glorious
purpose.
purpose. The thing that I like about Loki and the thing that I think makes Loki really stand out, besides the writing, because obviously the writing is fantastic, the cinematography of it. I know a lot of people throw around the word cinematography here and there. Like, they just kind of throw that word around. But, like, genuinely, for like the last shot of Loki with Mobius, you never really see a shot like that in Marvel. Like you don't.
It just doesn't feel like Marvel, and that's why it's so good. Because it doesn't feel like it's part of the MCU. It feels like just a damn good drama television show where it's a 2-season story, and everyone has a payoff with their character arc. And the score, wow, Natalie Holt, I believe, composed it, and she crushed it in that finale episode. There were synth vibes, like Stranger Things-y, if you will.
Killing it.
And the show always knew what it was. It had a vision from the start, and it's so cool watching the last 2 episodes of season 2, and it restructuring the way we view season 1, because season 1, when it ended, we were like, is Loki in a different timeline? We didn't know that he was slipping through time.
Yeah.
We had no idea the first time that we watched that whole interaction with Kang, Loki, and Sylvie that we would ever come back to it in season 2. And so it's just so smart.
I was so worried that we were going to have to see them kiss again.
Oh yeah, that would.
I was so scared.
So it was just really smart, and the final lines of that show. Never have I ever had more chills, I don't think, in the MCU TV realm, and it's not even close. Like that moment. I think I'll just wait here for a little bit. Let time pass.
Like, that moment feels on par with moments that we talk about all the time where it's like, don't bullshit me, Rogers. Did you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's impressive that came out of a TV show.
There's so much emotional weight in that line, because it's like Mobius the whole entire show. He's like afraid to go back to what it was, and then by the end he's out there watching over and seeing time pass, and it's just so beautiful. You've got Loki finally becoming the god and having that whole turnaround. Like, I love this show. I love this show.
When you hire actors and you let them be actors. Like Tom Hiddleston, sure, he's not in like a bajillion projects, but Tom Hiddleston is a theater actor. He's a thespian. He is a thespian.
Yes.
And he is in his element in Loki because they give him that space.
Yeah.
he's a great actor when he's playing like a villain. I love Loki and everything he's in. Genuinely, I do. I think he's the best parts of the Thor movies. Love him in Avengers. I've always loved Loki. You know, Tom Hiddleston, he's just so good as it. You know what I meant?
As the entity Loki.
Yes, he's just so good as Loki. And then you give him this platform of a TV show where he just has all the space because he's the main character of the show. So good. You hire Owen Wilson. Great actor.
Yeah.
Normally in comedies, correct?
Comedic actor.
But he's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
He's amazing.
Then you have the addition of Majors. You have Kiwi Kwan.
Kiwi Kwan in this season.
Yeah.
Jonathan Majors as He Who Remains is my favorite. Like, obviously we've only seen 2 Kang variants so far, but after Quantumania, technically we've seen 3 if you count Victor Timely. After Quantumania,
if you count the post-credits scene.
after Quantumania, not that I disliked him in Quantumania, I thought he was perfectly fine, but him as He Who Remains is just so different. Like the way that he speaks, it's got like an undertone of like terror in there, but it's like laced over with he's trying to comfort you while he's also terrifying. You know, and he's just so good as He Who Remains. So I was so glad we got to see him again.
Yeah.
And then you've got Kiwi Kwan. Love him. Such a great addition to this season.
My favorite, one of the best acting moments this season is when Loki finally returns and he realizes he's going to be the one to go out on the bridge or whatever. And he has that look with his friends one last time. And he's like tearing up because he knows the last time he's going to see them. And his friends just have no idea.
Thespian.
That is acting. That is a dramatic scene written well. And that is the quality and care we need in the films. Why are we not getting that in the films?
I don't know.
Because there's no denying, this is going to segue into a bigger conversation real quick. The reason I'm talking about the MCU, is it in Shambles, is it not, is we had that Loki episode drop the same day as the Marvels, and the two were received vastly differently. And there's no denying the quality of one is better than the other. So why can't Loki season 2 be the standard for everything now? Like, why can't we just have every project have that level of care? Because you can make a movie like the Marvels with that tone that's silly and self-aware even better than it was, though, is what I'm saying, structurally speaking. So I just don't know. What do you think?
I guess I don't have as much of an issue with the structure of the Marvels as you do, though. So I feel like that might be a little bit subjective in terms of taking that care and structure that we feel in Loki season 2 and applying it to everything. I also think it's a little difficult to compare the structure of a 6-episode show to, at least specifically in this case, an hour and 45-minute movie. There's just so much time to build certain things up, and you have more time to expand things out. I think in terms of moving forward with shows, Loki season 2 should be the precedent. Is that the word?
But yeah, like the gold
it should be
standard.
what people, the gold standard, what people look at.
Forward.
So like for TV shows moving forward, when it comes to movies, like movies can be so different and stuff. I think it's hard to like make one set sort of standard for how movies made. But so far with Marvel, they've been doing a 6-episode show thing. So it seemed like you can make a more of a set like way to do things. And I think you're right, but I think it's hard to compare the amount of time you're given in a TV show to the amount of time you're given in a movie.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I said there about structure. I if I insinuated that I want the Marvels to take the structure of a 6-episode show, I apologize. I misspoke.
No, you just said the care and love that was put into Loki.
Yeah, I wish that was put into the Marvels.
And I think that a lot of care and love did go into the Marvels. I think, it's just they're very vastly different. Like
I don't know,
so
one just
different.
feels like more.
One's dramatic and one's not.
One just feels more, and I'm throwing in Quantumania with this conversation as well. Quantumania and the Marvels, you compare that to the emotional journey that is Loki season 2, and it's like I just feel like
Quantumania.
They just
for
feel.
sure.
You know what they feel like? Because again, fun with both of them. Don't hate either, but they do feel more like we just got to crank this piece of content out for the MCU. Whereas Loki is like, this is not attached to the MCU. We're a creative team. We're just making the best show possible, and it's going to be a banger. And that's what it feels like. And I don't know why every movie can't be approached through that lens.
I see, when you bring Quantumania into it, I see your point a little bit more, because I feel like when I watch the Marvels, like I feel like I could feel the care that was brought in by the director and put into the movie. Like she clearly cared about each of the individual characters and their projects that they came from, and she did everything she could to apply that to the movie. But when you talk about Quantumania, I feel like whoever did Quantumania didn't watch a single Ant-Man project, didn't watch a single
It's crazy because Peyton Reed directed the first 2 Ant-Mans. He directed this.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, he didn't do a good job.
So nuts to think about. But no, I don't know.
I think that's what we're going to see moving forward, though, because Marvel seems to be slowing down with putting out stuff as quick.
Yep.
So I think
they're course correcting.
Like Captain America 4 is going to go through major reshoots because it tested badly, and they're going to listen to that, and they're going to fix it.
Yep.
So that shows me that they're putting effort in, and they're caring about it, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, Echo is coming out next year. We're getting Deadpool 3,
Yeah,
so a lot of things look promising, and I think the MCU is trending up right now. I think that this is that readjustment period that was inevitable ever since they started increasing the output of content, and so we're trending up. I think everything's going to be all right. I loved Loki season 2. The Marvels was fun, but I do think a lot of people like to wear this doom and gloom mindset, and a lot of people do it for clicks. I think a lot of people just don't know what they're talking about, and then I don't think that Marvel is in shambles right now.
I'm tired of the whole...
I don't think you can drop Loki season 2 and even remotely say Marvel's in shambles because of how great that was.
I'm tired of the whole bit that everyone's doing. It's mostly people on Twitter, but it's like a bit where people are like, it's over, we're back. It's over, we're back. You know that meme of Ryan Gosling where it's like fighting the male urge to say we're back 20 minutes after saying it's over? You know that meme?
Yeah.
I'm like sick of it. It's like it was funny at first, and now it's just not funny.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really like to speak on the overall state of the entire cinematic universe as it being done or not, because there's going to be things in the whole universe that are hits and misses. And so.
I feel like Kevin Feige's everywhere, and I would never want to have him catch me saying that Marvel is over.
I'm just glad I wasn't one of a million people who made a video that said
the MCU is in shambles. The MCU
is in shambles.
I would have killed you if you did that, actually.
Really original concept for a video.
Yeah. Google, show me synonyms for shambles, please.
Anyway, I don't know what else to talk about on this ep. We talked the Marvels, we talked Loki, we talked how we're seeing that movie tonight.
You listed a third thing in your text to me.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to talk Stranger Things briefly?
Oh, what, you guys?
We haven't filmed an episode since the strike's been over.
The strike's over, you guys. Thank God, you guys. We did it. We did it. It was
This episode is dedicated to every single influencer out there who didn't talk about movies during the strike and thinks that any of us give a shit about their review of a movie that came out in July. So shout out you guys. You fought the good fight.
This is to all the people who are not a part
I don't
of...
care if that gets
You're
me
not
in
a part of
trouble.
SAG-AFTRA. You're never going to be a part of SAG-AFTRA because you don't even want to be an actor, but
Yeah.
you thought that the strike affected you personally.
Movie
Like
content
you couldn't
creators.
say anything you wanted to say about it, even though you have no aspirations to be a part of SAG.
Yeah.
This one's for you.
Yeah.
That probably sounded like really bitter and really harsh.
And it was because it's so funny to me how people tweet as if they're holier than thou, and it's just like,
For all of you that scabbed, we see you,
dude?
and we remember you.
Do you not think? Do you think that technically, I'm we're part of the when I go to these early screenings, it's media screening, and do you think
media,
everyone there is a scumbag?
Media is
what?
not a part of media is not a part of SAG-AFTRA.
No, yeah,
I don't know what to tell you. Are we gonna
people
Rotten
I have
Tomatoes? You're a
immense
scab.
People I have immense amount of respect for. I'm gonna name drop here: Sean Chandler, Austin Burke, guys like that. Did they stop reviewing movies? No, because they're reviewing films.
That's what you have to do.
People got lost. People did not read the fine print.
There's a lot of
people don't have an
misinformation.
understanding. Thank you. There's a lot of misinformation going around, and so I understand for people trying to eventually join. But
Yeah.
so many people out there were like, "Oh, the strike's over. I can finally talk about the Marvels." Like, dude, you just post videos on TikTok. What?
Yeah. Like my good friend Drew, he is not sure whether or not he wants to go into the acting space.
Fair.
Right? that's something that's open-ended for him.
Yeah.
So during the strike, he didn't talk about the Marvels,
That's
which
fair.
was so hard for him because his favorite character literally of all time
Yeah.
is Captain Marvel, and his second favorite character of all time is literally Kamala Khan.
No, yeah.
So this is really, really hard for him to not talk about the Marvels like leading up to it. So I'm happy that the strike ended just in time so that he could talk about the movie when it came out.
Yeah.
But like for someone like him, where you don't know if you want to be a part of SAG later on in your life, you're young, you're in your teens, you don't know if you want to be an actor or not, you want to keep that open. Sure, that's fine. If you didn't talk about anything during the
No,
strike,
yeah.
more power to you. I'm really proud of you for, I can't keep my mouth shut for more than 5 minutes. So you're strong. But like for us, we don't really.
Well, no, I just want to say I don't really care if this rubs someone the wrong way, but so many people have like been like, oh, I filmed all these videos in July and August, and now I can post them, and it's like, do you think you're like? It really comes off as like, everyone's just got to hear what I have to say about this. It's like, it comes off
The
as
time has
people think they're
passed.
better. Yeah,
time has
like
passed.
you could just let it go.
We don't need to hear you talk about Barbie.
Yeah,
Times that
it's not Oppenheimer season anymore. buddy.
yeah, it's
I'll never. It always is in my mind, but like, it's just wild.
Oppenheimer
It's
is
wild
a
to me.
constant state of
It's
mind.
wild to me. I think how people think they're more important than they are. Like I'm very self-aware of who I am in the world, and like I have a YouTube channel. I love the community. I'm grateful for everyone who watches my videos. But people out here with millions of followers on TikTok will be like, "Here's my stuff that I filmed and edited," and it's like, "Can't wait!" Like, dude, the ship has sailed.
It's okay.
And
Just
it's just
post about what's
irritating.
coming out
it's
now.
irritating, and there was a lot of virtue signaling going on during this whole thing, and it's just like these people are still watching these movies and doing all this stuff, and they're just filming it and waiting to post it for the day strike ends. They're not on the picket lines. They're not actually engaged in any of it, and so either act like you give a shit or don't. Because honestly, I continue to review movies because again, I'm technically part of the press with all
Well,
these
yeah.
things, and it's like
And also
people were confused and they never really did their own research on what you could or couldn't do, and it just irritated me. And I'm glad the whole thing's over, and I'm glad the actors and writers were fairly paid. But now it's over, and it's an afterthought, and
Yeah.
we're moving on.
Yeah.
That's really all I have to say about that.
So strike's over. So that means about 10 minutes after the strike ended, all cast members of Stranger Things were called immediately by like director's assistants being
All
like,
right, your
hey,
flight to Atlanta.
your flight to Atlanta is in an
the
hour. Pack
morning.
your shit up and go.
Yeah, Stranger Things 5. It's coming.
You understand
baby.
they're all probably in Atlanta right now.
Probably. They're within an hour of us. They're within 40 minutes of us.
Joe Keery is within an
We're
hour of
going
us
to
right
Atlanta
now.
tonight to watch this movie. What if they're at the movie? That'd be nuts. Millie Bobby Brown just walks in.
Millie Bobby Brown lives in Atlanta.
I think she
No, she lives in
she lives like wherever. She goes.
she lives in Noonan, Georgia.
My uncle lived in Noonan for a while.
My sister used to dance in Noonan.
Interesting, actually. Wow. I
She
didn't know that.
she bought a house in Noonan, Georgia.
Wow.
Fun fact. Not to dox Millie Bobby Brown or anything.
But no, I'm excited for season 5, filming soon. Hopefully it comes out in 25. That's my goal, is 25. Say they start filming and say it goes into the fall of next year.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong?
I was just looking at your shirt.
You were looking at me like I got shot, like there was blood,
No.
like Barbosa and
I literally
Curse
just
of the Black Pearl.
hey, I just have ADHD and sometimes my eyes wander.
But yes, Stranger Things season 5 filming starts soon. Will we be going to filming locations, like to scope things out or
I
not?
think we
I don't want to get in trouble with
should.
them. I really don't.
I don't think we're gonna get in trouble.
I'm not sneaking onto a set, dude. You do that and get a bad rap with them. I'm not.
You can drive around and look. I drove past the fucking No Way Home set when it was filming in Georgia. No Way Home, which is probably locked down way harder than Stranger Things is.
Potentially.
And did I not live to tell the tale?
Okay.
Like, you can just drive by. I've seen so many videos of people that drive through Stranger Things filming locations while they're filming for like season 3 or season 4. I've seen people that while they were filming season 3, they got to literally meet Joe Keery outside of the mall because they were just there.
That's crazy. But I remember they had to put their cameras away, remember?
So
Because he was wearing the costume.
I'll meet Joe Keery without a camera any day.
No, yeah, it'd be cool to go. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's like just a lot of driving and gas money, and it's a lot route. Like the route we go on, it's just a lot, but we could consider. They're going to be filming for a while.
Yeah, we've got time.
Probably going to go to new locations.
Probably.
in
I wonder
Georgia.
what like the new location will be.
What will the it location be?
Because season 2, new location was the Palace Arcade.
Yeah.
Season 3 was the mall. Season 4 was the Creel House.
Yep.
I don't even know if do they even have time to add a new one. I think they just need to.
I don't know. Maybe something in the Upside Down. Something in the Upside Down.
Eddie.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk more about Stranger Things in future episodes.
Percy Jackson trailer this week. Sorry.
Do you want to talk about that for 10 minutes? I can mute myself.
No, I just wanted to mention that it's happening.
That was mean. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it really is. Chris doesn't like when I talk about things I'm passionate about.
No. You're painting a bad picture of me.
You painted it
That's not
yourself.
true.
I'm just framing it.
Ooh, you got me. Cool.
Wait, that was kind of fire. I just thought of that off the top of my head.
Keep going.
No, that's it. That was just kind of fire. That's like
Cook
a fire
me.
line.
Yeah. I'll kill myself like Abraham Lincoln gets shot in the back of the head in a theater by John Wilkes Booth.
Oh, so
What's
funny.
the weirdest fucking thing you might have ever said?
Well, I only said
I
that
don't
because I was
care.
in a theater, and so I just thought of it.
Okay. Anyway,
I watched National Treasure 2 recently.
I'm sweating.
Oh my god.
Let's
Okay.
wrap this thing up.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
It was a great time catching up with you.
If you took offense to anything we said, I'm sorry, but not really.
Sorry.
It's our opinion.
Like this video if you're on YouTube. If you're on Spotify, give us a 5-star rating. Even if you don't think we're a 5-star podcast, give us a 5-star rating anyways,
Running up
okay?
that road.
Can you not do that while I'm talking? Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. Take a picture of you watching or listening to our podcast and post on your Instagram story and tag us on Instagram and we'll repost it to our Instagram stories. Comment down below what you thought of the Marvels, what you thought of Loki. If you're excited for any of the other things we talked about, like Stranger Things 5 or Percy Jackson, let us know.
We should just start ending these things abruptly.
No, we're not doing that. We have to do our outro.
That would have been funny if it just ended there.
No, that's so lame. But until next time, stay unusual.